WNBA draft was just on Monday night in Brooklyn. We got some stars that were drafted, including Paige Beckers, recently national champion with the UConn Huskies. I mean, this was just, in my opinion, this is a really good draft from top to bottom. Wasn't as fan-fatum as what we saw last year's draft, of course, with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese leading the way. But I thought this year's draft was really good, especially for Chicago Sky. They got two really good players in the top 10, which is a home run. You bring that in to surround Angel Reese with. I know Chicago Sky recently, they fired their head coach, Coach Witherspoon. So I'm curious to see where they go in terms of the hiring. But Washington, with of course another rebound with Sonia and Kiki. Washington, Mystics has been probably one of the biggest failures in the WNBA the last 2 years in terms of not just winning basketball. Connecticut Sun rebounds. But fellas, let me get you guys on this. What was you guys take away from this year's upcoming draft? And what player from this draft do you think is going to make an immediate impact in year one with their organization?
Yeah, I think Haley Van Leaf.
Haley Van Leaf.
Yeah. When she was at LSU, she really didn't have a good year with them. She didn't really get a lot of chemistry with the team. But I feel like her transfer to TCU really, brought out a new spark in her career. And going to Chicago, I think is a good setup for her. So I really like her and the Slovenian girl that they drafted. Can't say her name, but yeah, those two picks are my favorite.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with probably from the first round. Of course, Paige would be the easiest to pick, but I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go with Amnesia Monroe. Just from what she did at LSU this past year, she led the country in double-doubles, by far the best rebounder in this year's draft. What that means for Connecticut Sun is you bring in someone who's a 6'1" power forward who can definitely run the floor, can play both ends. She's a great shot blocker at the rim. She does what she needs to do offensively. She has a really good back to the basket game. I thought Connecticut definitely hit a home run with this because if you haven't seen a tape for her last year at LSU, you missed a pretty good one. Yes, LSU didn't have enough star power to, of course, make a deep run in this year's tournament, but you can't take away the fact that, she has all the capabilities to play at a really high level at the next level, and that's the WNBA. So good pick for Connecticut at 7. Mark, I know you've been locked in with the WNBA as well as college basketball this year, women's side. From these first 3 rounds or any pick particular, what has caught your attention with who got drafted and where they've went? Because, of course, Paige Beckers at 1, well-deserved. No one in college basketball was going to beat her and get the number 1 spot. Paige Beckers has probably had one of the most successful college careers out of everyone in this year's draft from what she's done at UConn her last 4 years, being out for a year after tearing her ACL. But what was your takeaway from this year's draft, and what player do you look forward to seeing this upcoming year?
It's 2 things that really caught my eye. It was the 2 picks for Chicago to go in and support Angela Reese and see that team really progress this upcoming year. But I am going to take the obvious, but for 2 reasons. Paige Beckers. I think she's going to do a lot for the league and continue to move it to where it's going from a fiscal standpoint, as well as broadening the opportunities for these players to make more money. Not sure if everybody on the panel knows, but she had invested into I believe it's a 3-on-3 league, Unrivaled.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's going to make, I believe, like $200,000 just for playing, I believe it's 10 games, which
next
is
year
more than what she would make in the WNBA. The WNBA collective bargaining agreement is about to expire and about to renegotiate. So it's going to be interesting with these other opportunities that they're creating. And it could cause bidding for these players like it did back in the day with the USFL, and them choosing to play elsewhere if they don't increase the salaries of these players. Some of these players make, I think the top player $86,000, $68, something like that, but not a lot of money.
90.
And then you got NBA players who make that per game on the lower end of the bench.
Correct.
So I'm excited for those 2 reasons. Want to see what Paige does as an ambassador of the game, as well as a business person to broaden the opportunities for these young ladies, what I believe they deserve.
Yeah, Paige Beckers hits a home run with this. I think Dallas, of course, this is the immediate impact in terms of their roster. You're bringing in a winner. You're bringing in someone like Paige who comes from a winning DNA organization or program, I should say, like UConn, a winning head coach and Coach Gino Auriemma. These are all things that you want to bring into your locker room to add on to the success for your team. I think from a global standpoint, this helps Dallas overall because now this puts them in a different category in the league up this year with TV revenue, of course, being negotiated, TV viewership. Dallas, I'm sure will have a lot more televised broadcasted games, which they deserve. And, the fact that she does have a investor pitch in Unrivaled League who, let's face it, Unrivaled League this year was a success. It was started 2023. Last year was the first year that it was brought up. It had tons of stars. It's going to have more stars next year, including Paige, including Juju. And this is what, this Unrivaled League has been since the creation of it. And I think, of course, when you talk about a team like Dallas, who hasn't really been relevant in the last few years and sort of trying to find their way again in the WNBA, they hit a home run with Paige. And, of course, free agency, who knows what happens. Hopefully this bargain agreement can be negotiated smoothly so we can start on time. But, of course, when we're talking about the women's rights in the league, they deserve every single dollar that comes to them. And I look forward to seeing what happens. I know, Zeus, you wanted to go. Mach, you guys wanted to piggyback, chime in.
I definitely do because I'm trying to understand why nobody's talking about Dominique. She's the number 2 pick in the league. This girl dunks. So you're trying to tell me she's gonna she dunks and she's gonna pair up with Skylar Diggins.
Yep.
And Nika, which is averaging 17 and 8.
Yep.
So now you got a 6. I'm sorry.
And Aisha Clark.
Aisha Clark and also Gabby, and also with Gabby. So I'm trying to understand how she was not the bomb of the pick. I get it that she was from overseas, she's from France, and I get that part. And we're not gonna watch anybody from overseas, honestly. And I can chime into when it goes to Tony Parker. Who knew about Tony? I'm 41 years old, so I knew about Tony Parker. But nobody knew about Tony Parker when he came from France. I think he was averaging 9 points, but then when his freshman, his rookie year, he played against Gary Payton, and they called Gary Payton the glove, and they said Gary Payton had a hole in his glove because Tony Parker was chewing his fucking ass out. So, but Monique I'm telling you, Seattle is going to be a problem. I'm telling you right now.
I'm with you. I'm
just telling you.
I only disagree because of this reason. Yes, she's coming from France. She's 19 years old. I don't think she comes in year one and makes an immediate impact. I know this makes Seattle better this year. I just think with this, I need to see more of how her game transitions to the WNBA because we do know, of course, playing overseas is totally different.
She was in Olympics. She's definitely going to make an impact. She's definitely going to make an impact.
This will take time. This will take time. I
guarantee you. Rookie of the year. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling rookie of the year right now.
What?
I'm calling rookie of the year. Dominique, if you hear me, baby. Baby, if you hear me. Dominique, you hear me?
So I do
calling rookie of the year right now.
I want to make a correction. So the average WNBA salary is actually $147,000 with the top player making $247,000. But the average NBA player makes $12 million a year, which is $147,000 per game.
I should have practiced on my game.
Yeah.
Man, I should have. Can you call Coach Guard back?
Talk to me, brother. Talk to me about this draft. What's excited you, and what player do you look forward to seeing this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think watching college, I'm a big Paige Beckers fan. So Paige Beckers getting drafted to Dallas, I think it's gonna be really exciting. But I didn't really catch a lot of the other draft picks in the WNBA.
Shame on you.
But yeah, I'll say Paige Beckers.
I want to give a special shout out. I'm a big Notre Dame fan, women's college basketball. Shout out to Coach Ivy. I'm disappointed in how we finished this year with losing in TCU. But I just want to give a special shout out to my guard, Sonia, who got drafted 3rd overall to Washington. I am so happy that Hannah Hadobo is not entering the draft. I'm really upset that Olivia Miles left us to go to TCU. That doesn't make any sense from a basketball perspective, but it is what it is. Money rules in today's world. But, couldn't go without talking about WNBA without highlighting my lady fighting Irish. Coach Ivy, I believe in you. Next year, I trust the process. You will be okay. Be okay.
Sounds good.
Hey, man,
he's a hell of a drug, brother.
I mean, look, you saying Dominique's gonna win Rookie of the Year?
Man, I'd rather go with that one than what you saying.
I gotta go watch her tape. You guys said she's 6'6".
This shit sounds crazy.
I gotta watch Seattle every game this year just so I can. I don't know, man. This year draft is exciting, man. It's exciting.